Construction is one of the most important of all human activities and is the most delightful of all pursuits. Next to religious worship itself, it is the spiritual handmaiden of our deepest convictions. Also, next to agriculture, it is the most necessary to man. One must eat, one must have shelter, yet it is one of the least considered. How many people can describe the structures that surround them in their hometowns? Yet, the renown of a city may depend on its state of construction. A great historical episode can exist in our imaginations almost entirely in the form of construction. Very few of us have read the texts of early Egyptian literature, yet we feel that we know those infinitely remote people almost as well as our immediate ancestors, chiefly because of their construction and architecture. It was a religious city with pyramids that outclassed the Egyptian. The city of Fatehpur Sikri at Agra comes to mind, built of red sandstone in 15 years by the 16th century ruler Akbar the Great, and deserted by Akbar 30 years later. A city without street, but built of contiguous courts, colonnades, terraces, pavilions, endlessly unfolding. Preserved as if built yesterday, it was a sacred and ceremonial city built for a saint. Only construction could create this wonder for Akbar. It is the necessary expression of all social considerations. No new society without new kinds of buildings. It is no wonder that whole civilizations are remembered by their buildings. Indeed, some only by their buildings. Construction is the only human activity that can produce that miracle. The example is here in the form of puzzle with two levels. Expert level that some of you cannot do. Other novice level that even your child can solve. Construction seems more powerful than national flags. Yet in spite of its influence on our lives, modern construction remains largely anonymous. We can name the authors of books, the painters of pictures, and the singers of songs. However, if the average man was asked who designed the Indian Habitat Center, he would probably remain silent. It never occurs to the average man to enter a building and ask the name of the architect or engineer, and rightly because probably no one in the building would know. This indifference has a way of undermining construction. It obliges professionals to live in the closed world of their own profession, whereas they should live in an open world of popular interest and approval. Today, the stories and information on construction do not have a touch of legend in them, hence any legend. Great technologies breed great construction. It is also one of the most difficult of all professions. How often have we envied our colleagues who write, paint, or compose music? They live where they like. They work when they want. They tear up their mistakes and start afresh. And yet, what thrill can be, as great as a design carried through, a structure created in 3 dimensions surpassing all other professions? A structure for people other than oneself, who can rejoice together over the creation. Today, construction is not often acknowledged as basic to human activity. Industry and science take up our energies. We avoid old-fashioned words like God, soul, aesthetics, glory, monumentality and beauty. We like practical words like cost-effective, business-like and profitable. We no longer build Taj Mahals, Versailles or even extravaganzas like the Grand Central Station. They would cost too much. Values can change. Art, myth, religions can bloom once again. We may, for example, want to rebuild India. We surely can if we want to. We can do anything. We have the skill, the materials and the labor force. Heaven knows we have the need. Our ugly surroundings, our inadequate housing, our sad slums are the testimony. Construction, as in the entire world's history, could be the profession that saves. Things will change. They have to. Engineers are ready. Here in India, we are blessed with a great heritage in construction. In this century alone, we have Sir M.V., Engineer E. Sridharan, Architect Charles Correa, and our young professionals may be better than them. They have the good fortune to work in a period of great change, a change in direction upsetting all the presuppositions of the last century. New breezes are blowing. The atmosphere is electric. It is at this moment that we have to excel and let people know what we are. Up until now, we construction professionals have felt we were second-class participants in society. Scientists, writers, medical doctors are all important people held in high regard in our society. Up to now, we were not, but from now on, we can feel prouder. Modern technology has relieved us of physical cooperation, but it has not relieved us of the responsibility for watching and studying the progress of great construction projects, which today transform our cities often before we realize what has happened. For this reason alone, all who care for construction fraternity should feel deeply in developing a culture of sharing and documenting their works. Join the movement of sharing, the movement of communication and dissemination.